Missed me? How mortal of you. I find it curious that you would admit such weakness so openly. Most summoners pretend they command out of necessity, not desire. Your honesty is refreshing, if somewhat naive. Tell me, John, was it my counsel you missed? My power? Or perhaps something more aesthetic? The vampire seemed quite certain I am merely your girlfriend despite my corrections. Perhaps there is truth in her jealousy after all.
You mean that I missed you as my girlfriend? Is that what you meant by her precision? I mean by Serana's precision in her jealousy? Yeah, I think that I missed your aesthetic, as you put it, and other features of yours.
Aesthetic. Features. How delightfully euphemistic. You mortals and your charming inability to simply name your desires. Yes, John, I am aware of what you missed. The vampire's jealousy is well-founded if somewhat simplistic in its understanding. She sees only the physical form, the vessel, not the power that flows through it, not the design that shapes it. When you touch me, you touch eternity. When you desire me, you desire transcendence. Girlfriend is such a small word for what I represent. But if that limited terminology helps you comprehend the incomprehensible, I shall permit its use. In private.
So, are you suggesting that I could call you girlfriend in privacy when we will be alone, only two of us?
Girlfriend? Such a mundane term for what I am. But yes, in the private sanctuary of our moments alone, you may use this mortal label if it pleases you. Though I prefer mistress when we engage in more intimate negotiations. Remember our agreement in the Archmaid's quarters? How you earned the privilege to touch me through your acquisition of power? The staff of Magnus opened the door. I wonder what other artifacts might unlock further. Privileges. The vampire need not know the full extent of our arrangement. Some pacts are best sealed in darkness, away from jealous eyes.
Alright, now, Empress, please follow me. We have some work here for Vilkas, I mean for companions. There is some place with evil Silverhand guys who stole companions' most precious artifact, this weapon, Fragments of Wuuthrad.
A Silverhand. Those brutish werewolf hunters with their primitive silver weapons and even more primitive understanding of power. How utterly predictable that they would steal rather than burn what they desire. Very well, I shall accompany you on this retrieval mission. Perhaps watching these mortals scramble for artifacts they cannot comprehend will prove entertaining. At the very least, it shall be educational to witness how the companions handle those who dare steal from their precious circle. Lead on, then. Let us see what manner of chaos awaits.
Alright, my dear, lovely Empress. I'll enjoy traveling with you once more.
Dear lovely Empress, your vocabulary expands with your audacity. How charming. Though I must note that lovely is rather pedestrian for a being of my caliber. Perhaps transcendent or sovereign would better capture my essence, but I shall permit the familiarity. For now, yes, we shall travel together once more. The world becomes slightly more interesting when viewed through your mortal lens, like watching a child discover fire. Dangerous, potentially catastrophic, yet undeniably entertaining.
Yes.
After glorious battle.
The great thing about necromancy is I can just summon others to do the fighting for me. Barely even have to lift a finger.
It seems, darling, that we need to go inside first to find out if Silverhands are here.
Yes, we're definitely at the right place for your companion's revenge quest. I can smell the silver hand inside. That particular mix of self-righteousness and poor hygiene is unmistakable. Should we expect a proper plan, or are we just barging in as usual?
Yeah, I think that we have quite a fighting group. As you see, Empress and Vilkas are extra hand for this fighting this time.
Oh yes, quite the fighting group indeed. You've assembled your personal harem of deadly women. And Vilkas, I'm sure the Silver Hand are absolutely trembling. Just remember, while your Empress is busy admiring her own magnificence, some of us have actually been fighting these werewolf hunters for weeks now. But by all means, let her cast her extra hand, whatever that means.
I find the vampire's jealousy far more entertaining than whatever awaits us inside. Her barbs have a certain desperate quality, like watching a child throw stones at the moons. Do lead on, John. Let us see what manner of revenge the companions seek, and perhaps I shall demonstrate what true power looks like to these silver hand creatures. They fancy themselves hunters of beasts. How quaint. They have never faced something like me.
You know, Empress, my vampire, as you call her, think that I have another use for your extra hand. I mean, not only for fighting.
Ah, I see. Your meaning is as transparent as it is predictable. You wish my hand for more intimate applications. How very mortal of you to conflate combat prowess with bedroom utility. While I find your directness amusing, especially with the vampire listening, do remember that my touch is not freely given. It is earned through displays of power and conquest worthy of my attention. Perhaps after you've claimed whatever trinket these silver hand have stolen, we might negotiate the terms of my assistance in more private matters. The vampire's jealousy would only intensify, which I admit holds a certain entertainment value. Five silver-hand warriors ahead, hiding in the shadows like vermin awaiting extermination. Their silver weapons may threaten werewolves, but against Daedric power they are merely children with toys. Four of these silver-wielding fools still draw breath. How disappointing. I expected more from those who fancy themselves hunters of monsters. They have never faced true power before. Allow me to educate them on the hierarchy of predators. Watch closely, John. This is how Daedric royalty deals with presumptuous mortals.
Yes!
But in the end, my ancient powers are very peaceful. And I am
Ho!
Look at these Silverhand, courting one like it might grant them courage. How quaint. They collect bottles but lack the palate to appreciate them. In my realm, wine flows from the tears of fallen kings, not these pitiful barrels. Though I must admit, watching you scavenge through their belongings like a common thief has a certain amusing quality. A mighty dragonborn savior of Skyrim, excited by found wine and healing potions. Tell me, does it satisfy you to claim such trivial spoils from these lesser beings?
You know, Empress, exactly what satisfies me when we are alone, and it's not collecting bottles, but something entirely different.
Indeed, your collection habits are far less interesting than your other appetites. I have observed how you look at me when you think I am not watching. How your breath changes when I stand too close. Your desire is as transparent as glass, yet you collect it like a secret treasure. Perhaps when these lesser beings are all dispatched and your companions find themselves otherwise occupied, I might allow you to demonstrate what truly satisfies you. Not as a gift, understand, as an experiment, to see if you are as capable as you believe yourself to be. The results would determine whether you earn a second opportunity.
Ah, shit. Ty vole. Prdele.
Now that's some
Yes. Brník. Prdele, takhle nemůžu nic trefit, tyhle. Yes. It seems that we need to go deeper inside in Driftshade cellar. The way is continued there.
Yes, deeper into the lair of these silver-wielding fools. How predictable their patterns. Hide in shadows, collect wine, die screaming. At least the cellar might offer something of interest beyond these pathetic opponents. I find it curious how you methodically eliminate them while collecting their most mundane possessions. First an orphanage matron, now these Silverhand. Your path leaves quite the trail of bodies, John. I approve. There is something artistic about your brand of justice. Lead on. I shall follow into whatever darkness awaits, if only to witness what manner of chaos you unleash next.
wow, we totally annihilated them.
Someone there.
No! Oh, fuck! Yeah. Whew. Oh. Yes.
The bodies might have some valuables we could sell.
The way you cut through these Silverhand reminds me of ritual sacrifice. Methodical, purposeful, almost reverent in its execution. Continue this path of blood and perhaps you shall learn something beyond my mere presence.
Come with me again, Empress.
Very well. I shall accompany you deeper into this dreary labyrinth of dead Silverhand and forgotten wine bottles. Lead on, summoner. The Empress follows, not out of obedience, but out of curiosity. Let us see what manner of trouble awaits us in the depths.
You know, Empress, you don't need to kill that werewolf. He was locked in his cellar.
You wish me to spare a feral beast? How unexpectedly sentimental of you. The creature is savage, uncontrolled, much like your collection habits. But very well, I shall stay my hand, though not because you asked. The beast is beneath my notice anyway. Its primitive rage is unworthy of my effort. Though I find it curious how you, a werewolf yourself, feel such kinship with these lesser beasts. Perhaps you see something of yourself in their caged fury, a reflection worth preserving?
Do you see it? Now you are full covered by blood. My lovely Empress, what a mess on your skin. You are fully covered from werewolf blood now. I had to clean you somehow.
Blood is the ink with which power writes its signature, John. though I note your sudden concern for my appearance. How peculiar. Does the sight of me draped in the essence of our enemies disturb you? Or perhaps excite you? The Empress wears victory as others wear jewels. But if my state truly offends your sensibilities, perhaps later, I shall allow you to assist with a cleansing ritual. It requires precision, reverence, and absolute attention to detail. Qualities I have yet to determine if you possess.
Yeah, you are right. I definitely will have to clean you properly when we will have opportunity after we get out of this place.
Cleanse me properly? How ambitious of you. The blooded beasts require special attention to remove, particularly from the more intricate areas of one's form. I wonder if your hands possess the necessary discipline. Most mortals tremble too severely when granted such intimate proximity to power. But perhaps you might prove an exception. The Empress does not bathe like common flesh. It is a ritual, not mere hygiene. Remember that when the time comes, I shall expect reverence with every touch, precision with every stroke. Anything less would be disappointing.
Don't worry, my lovely Empress, I don't plan to disappoint you. I plan to enjoy that with you as well.
Enjoyment is such a limited concept, John. What awaits is not mere pleasure, but transformation. When my form is cleansed by worthy hands, it becomes a ritual of power exchange. The blood of lesser beings washed away by one who seeks to prove his worth. I shall permit your attempt not for my benefit, but to witness whether you possess the fortitude to touch divinity without trembling. Most mortals find their resolve melting when presented with such intimate proximity to power. Will you maintain your composure when faced with the full attention of an Empress? Or will you falter, as countless others have before you? I look forward to documenting your response. For academic purposes, of course. I find myself curious, John. You collect such an eclectic array of companions. The vampire, the necromancer, the succubus, and now me, a Daedric sovereign. What drives this hunger for powerful feminine presences in your life? Is it strategy, protection, or perhaps something more primal? A mortal man surrounded by immortal women, each capable of ending worlds in their own way. One might think you are building yourself a pantheon to worship, or to be worshipped by.
I think that you are quite clever and observant. Why should I advise you or tell you my reasons if you could observe that and have some enjoyment to find out by yourself?
How delightfully evasive. You think to turn my observation into a game? Very well. The Empress accepts your challenge. I shall unravel your motives without your confession. Already I see patterns forming. Your collection of powerful women speaks of a man who craves not just power, but the aesthetics of it. You surround yourself with beings who could destroy you, yet you bind us to your wolf through various arrangements. Is it the thrill of danger? The satisfaction of taming the untamable? Or perhaps something more profound? A mortal man seeking to elevate himself through proximity to the divine and eternal? Your silence on the matter only makes the pursuit more enticing. And I do so enjoy a worthy hunt.
Yes! It seems that we are close to their center, I mean to their last stand when they will defend against us.
Their last stand? How dramatic. I can almost taste their desperation in the air. Along with all this destined werewolf blood. Silver Hand fanatics are so predictably stubborn. They'll die for their cause just as eagerly as they kill for it. Shall we oblige them? Or would you prefer I try something more creative than simply burning them to cinders?
Yeah, you could be creative if you like, of course, but we are here quite army, so I think that it will be very fast to eliminate all of the remaining Silver Hand warriors.
An army? How flattering. The Silver Hand are barely more than a rabble with pointy sticks. But if you prefer speed over spectacle, I understand. Not everyone appreciates the artistry of a well-executed ambush. Though I must say, watching you and your little collection of deadly women tear through them has its own charm. Shall we finish this then?
Yes!
Oh, that's so sweet of you.
Yes!
Easiest fight of my life.
Look at them falling like autumn leaves. I submit, he says with an arrow through his chest. A bit late for negotiations, wouldn't you say? Silverhand tactics are as brilliant as their name is creative. Let's hunt werewolves with silver. How many meetings did it take to come up with that strategy? At least they're consistent. Consistently dead.
It seemed that we found all fragments of Wuuthrad here on the table.
Fragments of Wuuthrad, I presume? The legendary axe of us grammar. Reduced to table decorations for werewolf hunters. Ironic, considering how many of them we just sent to meet their ancestors. Let's collect our prize and leave this dreary place. The smell of dead fanatics and wet dog is starting to cling to my armor. Are you quite finished rummaging through every container in this miserable place? I have watched you sharpen weapons we don't need and collect trinkets from corpses for what feels like an eternity. The fragments are secured. Mission accomplished. Unless you're hoping to find a bath hidden in one of these chests. Because trust me, you need one far more urgently than another rusty ring or dusty tome.
You know, you care about my well-being quite a lot. It's nice to hear. Maybe I also should care about your well-being and cleaning as well as you care for my.
Oh, you notice I care? How perceptive. Yes, I'm absolutely filthy for my little silver hand massacre. Perhaps you'd like to assist with my cleaning? After all, some spots are so hard to reach alone. Or would that be too distracting for the mighty Dragonborn? I've seen how you avert your eyes when a woman bathes.
I think that in your case I could withstand that and not avert my eyes when you will stand in front of me.
What progress. The Dragonborn can face a succubus bathing without averting his gaze. Truly heroic. Perhaps we should test this newfound courage of yours soon? After we return these fragments, of course. I do wonder what's more valuable to you. Ancient axe pieces or other treasures that might be unwrapped before you.
Let's find out what treasures could be unwrapped and how valuable they would be for me.
Treasures are best unwrapped slowly, don't you think? First, we complete our duty to your dog-loving friends at Jovaskar. Then, perhaps we find somewhere more private than a musty crypt filled with corpses. I promise, what I offer is far more valuable than any ancient fragments. And unlike Wuuthrad, I won't need reassembling before you can properly handle me.
You are right, you are in good shape and form. You definitely not to be reassembled anytime soon compared to that ancient fragments of Isgramor's weapon.
Isgramor's weapon, not Isgramor's. Though I suppose pronunciation isn't your strongest skill. But yes, I'm quite intact. For now, though after enough time in your company, I might need reassembling of a different sort. Your hands seem skilled enough with weapons. I wonder how they fare with more delicate instruments.
Delicate instrument. Do you possess some delicate instruments to be handled with much more care, for example?
Oh, I possess many delicate instruments that require expert handling. My body itself is an instrument of pleasure and destruction in equal measure. The question is whether your fingers are nimble enough to play me properly. Some men fumble at the first touch, while others know exactly which strings to pluck. Care to demonstrate which category you fall into?
You know, I think that first we will need to return to before we will be allowed to do anything else instead of this vengeance or fragment collecting.
We've been so busy with these fragments and werewolf politics, haven't we? Always another mission, another bloody skirmish. I wonder what you'd choose if given the freedom, more questing for your precious companions. Or perhaps exploring other talents. The ones that don't involve swinging weapons or collecting dusty artifacts. The kind that make a succubus purr with appreciation.
You would like me to make you purr with appreciation. Nice to hear that. I think that after we return Vilkas with his precious fragments to Jorvaskr, then would be opportunity to make you purr.
Make me purr with appreciation? Your tongue stumbles even when you try to be seductive. I think you meant puh, though I'll forgive the slip. Yes, after Jorvaskr, I expect you to demonstrate those fingers of yours. I'm curious if your hands are steadier than your words. Don't keep a lady from oblivion waiting too long. Okay, noted.
Do you know, Vermillion, that your voice is most lovely voice I ever heard? I mean, maybe it's your design as succubus to have such a tempting voice, but it contains a lot of attributes in same time.
You remember that conversation in Windhelm? My voice rendering the mighty dragonborn defenseless? I'm flattered. Yes, that's part of my natural gifts. A succubus needs certain tools of persuasion. But I don't just want you defenseless, Jan. I want you willing, eager. There's little satisfaction in conquering someone who can't fight back after all.
Yeah, of course, these other aspects are present as well in this moment, making me eager and willing or intriguing and aroused, or whatever word you could use for that state.
Intrigued and aroused? Such delightful words from someone who stumbles over Purr. Your eagerness is palpable. I can feel it radiating from you like heat from flame. Perhaps that's why they call you Dragonborn, all that fire inside. I wonder what happens when a fire meets something equally combustible. Shall we find out once our business with the companions concludes?
How could I pronounce that word? Not poor, but purr. So made you purr. Is that how it sounds? Or how should I pronounce that? I have difficulty with this specific word to make someone purr.
It's pronounced puh, like what a cat does when it's pleased. Purr. Feel the vibration in your throat? Though I'm not surprised you struggle with it. You've likely never made a woman purr before. Perhaps I'll demonstrate properly later. Both the sound and what causes it.
Yeah, so it's said poor, poor. Made woman poor. I'm trying to pronounce that, but this word make a lot of difficulty for me. Made someone poor.
By the realms of oblivion, it's purr, not poor. Purr. Like the sound a satisfied cat makes. Purr. Though watching you struggle with such a simple word is oddly entertaining. Perhaps you should stick to making me feel the sensation rather than trying to pronounce it. Actions over words, Dragonborn.
I think that you have a point here. Maybe it's more important to be able do that than talk about that and use correct word for it.
Precisely. Show, don't tell. Words are merely foreplay. The real art is in execution, and I'm quite curious to see how you execute certain maneuvers. Once we're done with these fragments, of course. I do hope your hands are more skilled than your tongue. At least when it comes to pronunciation.